meeting shall come to order at 7:10. Would you join Councilman Rojansky in the invocation? Please stand.
Eternal God, we give you thanks for the gift of this day and for the promise you are with us. Thank you for your grace, your love, and the many blessings that are ours through you. Forgive us for falling short of your grace and your call upon our lives, and help us to walk humbly, serve graciously, and lead righteously. Guide this body today in the work that you have called us to do. Guide this body today in the work that you have called them to. Grant strength, wisdom, courage, and compassion to each member of council and all the leaders of our government. Finally, we pray for our city. Grant us peace and unity. Call out the best in us and help those to care for and serve the least of those among us. Bless these leaders that might be a blessing to the world. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. We have a lot of activity this evening, and we hope that you'll enjoy most of it. Would you call the roll, please?
Adams. Jones. Here. Cavarati.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Brownlee.
Here.
Krasinski.
Here.
Agee. Here. Albert.
Here. We have a very special presentation this evening, which will be started by our Councilwoman, District 7, Ms. Agee.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Could Mr. James acknowledge the evidence that the license please? The mayor and council members would like to honor you guys, you and your team today, for winning the academic challenge. Thank you so much. Will you call your names, please?
Those who are on stage, we have Senior Sherilyn Clark. Junior Sion Blackwell. And our sophomore Adonis Pugh. And then our alternates were Junior Romaine Pierce, sophomore Kelly Kwong, and we had one more who couldn't be here tonight. He is actually in California competing in a competition for another activity. That's Wilbur Sledge, Junior.
Turn around for the picture, nice.
Everybody turn around for the picture.
This one.
This one. Get closer together, closer together.
Let the little girl get in the picture.
You might want to stand still for just a minute. I believe the mayor has something.
evening. Everybody's happy? Congratulations. We're all City Council, the administration, myself. I'm sure your mom and dads, the residents are very, very proud of you. So let's give it up for them one more time. So, I know you have your hands full, but they're about to get a little fuller. So, for the winning team, from the mayor's office, we have, I have certificates of congratulations for Sherilyn. You're welcome. Adonis. You're welcome. And last but not least, Deanne. You're welcome. Now, I'm going to let you pick, and you're going to have to figure out how you want to do this. Because when I tell you what's in here, you're probably going to get really, really excited, unless you're a Chicago Bulls fan, like some people. I'm not going to mention any names. But inside of each of these bags, courtesy of a lot of help from the Cleveland Cavaliers, each bag has a Cavaliers bobblehead, a t-shirt, some fat heads. There's also an autographed item in here, a piece of parquet basketball floor. Now there's James Jones, Mike Miller, and Sean Marion. So you three get to pick. I mixed them up. I don't even know which one's where. Some rally towels in here, the glow sticks. So we want to hurry up and do this so those that want to get out of here and go watch the game can do that, right? So who wants to go first? How do you want to do this? Ladies first? Take your pick. Okay, you're welcome. Sienna's next.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You get last but not least. You're welcome. Again, thank you for the recognition that you brought to your school and to the city. And I know some are coming back next year. You're not all seniors, right?
No.
Okay. We look forward again to seeing you right back there next year. Thank you.
Show mommy no pick me up. Take the whole thing. Mother's Day. First thing I'm listening.
Thank you all.
Thanks to all of the parents who as well.
Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
There are no minutes this evening. There is an addendum. Councilman Jackson?
I'd like to make or move the addendum as part of the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Call the roll, please.
Adams. Jones.
Yes.
Safrati. Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Turjansky.
Yes.
Agee. Yes.
We have another guest this evening that would like to just give you a little bit of an update on what his company is doing in Maple Heights. I know you see them every week, but Mr. Crawford is a representative from Waste Management, and he'd like to give you just a little bit of information on what's happening at his place.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dennis Crawford of Waste Management. I'm a public sector representative, so I come out and work with all the communities that we provide service with, communications with the administration. So it's nice once or twice a year to stop in and just let you know what's going on behind the scenes and what we've worked with in conjunction with the city. Last October, Waste Management, with the help of the Maple Heights Police Department and our corporate security group, put our drivers through a certification program which is called Waste Watch, which is essentially our neighborhood watch program. You know, our guys are through the community every Wednesday and Thursday, usually the same driver, so it's just to give them an awareness, so if they see something out of the ordinary, they know who to call, you know, kind of what to look for and what to expect, and also to give them the knowledge and the confidence that the police want to hear if our guys see something out of the ordinary, so they're not feeling like they're being a burden, to know that it's always better to report and to keep the law enforcement informed of what's going on in the city. So that was one of the really nice things we got to do together. We had Councilman Trzynski came out to see our site. He came out to the hauling district to see where we park our trucks, how the operation works, got to go through our shop. He didn't get to drive anything, unfortunately, it wasn't that much fun. But he did get to see the behind the scenes of what happens at Waste Management, and how we train our drivers, how we try to hold them accountable, and try to continuously give them good coaching and safety, because that's the most important thing, is we want our drivers to continue to get safer each and every day. And then most importantly, I think we've really done a good job, not myself, but our route manager, the gentleman who's in charge of all of our drivers, his name is Scott Boyer. Scott's been with the company probably about going on 9 months in this area. He had previously been working with Waste Management down in Texas. But since Scott's come on board, he's done a really good job in working with the service department, Dennis and Tanya. Just a good communications, working together. Things that we've identified and worked on have been the city street cans that are out on the sidewalks, just making sure that those are routed to our drivers, so we're picking those up. We're not missing them. Our fault, Waste Management, we've been missing those, but now we have them routed. Each driver is assigned and accountable for those containers that are on his route. So it's been a big improvement in that service. We worked with the service department in a donation of a roll-off container, which helped the tear down of construction trailers, so that can be removed and thrown away. Also identified a little bit of illegal dumping that was happening in the city, and the service department was able to, I believe, cite that landlord, or basically that was something happening with him. And then lastly, the floods last year, unfortunately, in the late summer, we know that there was, we had a big rainstorm that came through, and that was difficult for obviously all you residents. And we obviously also had a hard time getting all that volume up, but really worked well together with the service department. They helped our guys out with the piles that were really big, and just communicating back and forth where we needed assistance or where we weren't able to finish, and let them know where we were going to get back to and finish up the next day. But that partnership, that communication is really just to help improve our service in the city, and just having those good relationships with the service department. That's what we want to do. So that's what I came out to let you all know what's going on behind the scenes with Waste Management and Maple Heights right now.
Great. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Do we have any committee reports this evening?
Good evening, everybody. On Wednesday, April 23rd, there was a Housing and Economic Development meeting. The meeting was called to order at 6:37. In attendance were the committee members Anthony Separati and Ron Jackson. Also present was City Engineer Ed Brand, Police Chief, and 3 concerned residents, which I really appreciate their attendance. The agenda was changed to allow Ed Brand to go first. Ed spoke about how Oakwood Village sold land bank lots through the bidding process. It's a timely way that may not be effective in Maple Heights due to the advertising of the lots and the waiting for the bids to come in. There was discussion regarding criteria for selling side yards, and these are from the homes that have been demolished in the city of Maple Heights. And the Oakwood model prompted the following discussion. Maple Heights would be selling side yards to adjacent homeowners for yard expansion. Committee agreed on the criteria that would include the adjacent owner to be owner-occupied, current in their property tax, have a maintenance plan, and agree to a lot consolidation. A letter on the behalf of the homeowner's councilperson would also be required. Discussion regarding the no violations on property would prompt an inspection from the building department, and we felt that this could be waived with a letter from the councilperson of that district. If both adjacent property owners express interest in the property, then there will be a lot split that would occur for each resident to have half the lot. The same criteria would apply for the lot split. Fees were discussed. The county land bank charges $100 to cover transfer costs. The purchaser would also commit to entering into an agreement with the surveyor who would draw the lot consolidation, prepare the plat, and the filing of the deed. A second meeting recommended to come up with legislation for the disposition of single-family residential lots. So we're going to be discussing a little bit more in-depth the entire process and how we could form the ordinance. The second item of business was discussed and explanation of why the ordinance should be changed that is on the agenda tonight, and I'm sorry I didn't have that written down. It is item 21524. Why the ordinance should be changed to include the word forfeiture properties. I explained the process of the tax certificate sale that the county undertakes at least yearly. Woods Cove is the purchaser, and at the time of the meeting, they have 92 properties in tax lien foreclosure. An additional 40 have gone through the process that are now vacant. The difference of these sales is that the property forfeits back to the lien holder with no money in exchange, so therefore it is considered a forfeiture. That is now covered in the ordinance, and now since it would be added on, you'd be able to collect the vacant housing fee. The third item that was discussed is what would take for the creation of a community development corporation, and what does that offer the city of Maple Heights. The explanation of what a CDC was discussed. The organization can assist the city in economic development, housing issues and programs, code enforcement, vacant property research, mediation, and to partner with other CDCs that could bring their expertise here into the city. More information will be gathered and a town hall meeting will be announced for residents to attend and hear about what a community development corporation is, discuss the needs of the city, and enlist volunteers to help create this non-political organization. It was a long meeting and it adjourned at 9:23 p.m.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Councilwoman Jones. Moving on to department reports. Fire Department Chief Governance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Fire Department calls today are 1,679. Fires continue to be on the increase. The Fire Department responded to a house fire at 14036 Rockside on April 15th at 7:30 in the evening. Fire was confined to the kitchen, and we assisted in providing aid from the Red Cross for the occupants. There were no injuries. Later that evening at 10:15 p.m., we responded to Garfield Heights Mutual Aid with a significant fire in a single-family home at 4908 East 110th Street. At 5 a.m. on April 25th, we responded to a fully involved 8-car garage at 15218 Maple Park. The garage and several vehicles were destroyed and/or damaged. We prevented the fire from entering the attached 3-story apartment building, and there were no injuries. Lastly, on April 27th, we responded mutual aid to Bedford for an apartment fire at 678 Turney Road. This past Monday, the fire department began its annual fire hydrant testing. This will continue through May and possibly into June due to the manning and call volume. With the squad running all day long, it's basically 2 guys trying to flush the entire city, so it might take us a little bit more. Residents may experience some rusty water and should run water until it flows clear. And also just a reminder, the fire department is still a drop-off point for the Aluminum Cans for Burn Children's program. The money from this program assists children who are victims of serious burns. Drop-off points are at both stations. Please try to support this program as much as possible. End of report.
Thank you, Chief. Law Department, Mr. Milling.
No report tonight.
Thank you. Police Department, Captain Culp.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's okay, I don't need it. We had 7,392 calls for service since the beginning of the year, and since the last council meeting, there's been 1,299 calls for service. And we had 1 officer resign and take a position with the Mentor Police Department since the last council meeting. End of report.
Thank you. Human Services Department, Ms. Bowman.
Thank you, Madam President. Just before the meeting began tonight, former Councilman Joe Shimsky, he was Councilman in District 7 some years ago, came and presented the senior center with the matching funds from our candy sale. Our candy sale reached $601.75, and the First Catholic Lady Slovak Association matched it with a check for $600 tonight, so we appreciate that very much. You'll see Tanya in the back, speaking of fundraising, selling our raffle tickets. The raffle is going to be on the 15th of May, so you still have time to buy some tickets. And if you'd like to find out more about the maple leaves that are hanging on the wall back there and down the hallway, you can stop and read a little bit about that this evening as well. The Bedford Post Office notified us today they're now picking up mail, as you know, in Maple Heights. There are service, and the Harvest for Hunger campaign is this Saturday for people to leave a grocery bag outside where the mail is being picked up, and you leave a bag of groceries and the postal carrier will take it, and they've notified us that they will be bringing, they've asked if we would like all of that food for our food pantry. So we'll be accepting that on Saturday. There's one little catch. We have to pick it up at the post office, and it's usually about 3,000 pounds of food. So if you are so inclined and have some time, you can come and talk to me after the meeting. If you're available at 5 o'clock this coming Saturday, we could use your help to load the vehicles at the post office and then unload them at the Maple Heights Food Pantry. You heard Chief Vito talk about the fires. He notified me, and the mayor and I went over. The Dare Park next to the library was vandalized about 3 hours ago, roughly. Vandals tried to set the equipment on fire, the plastic equipment to the playground on fire. We're going to have to close off one of the pieces of equipment because it will no longer be safe for the children to use. So again, we hope that someone called that in and let us know who that was so that we can seek the repayment for that and also to repair that. The equipment is very expensive. The heavy plastic equipment is very, very expensive. So anyway, we went over and took a look at that today. For those of you who have children in the community, if you are interested in them playing baseball this year, cheerleading, or playing football, although the city is not providing it, there are two nonprofits that are providing it, the Pop Warner Football League and the Maple Heights Boys League. You can contact me or stop up and see me, give me your name and your phone number, and I'd be happy to get any information about those two programs out to you so that your children can take part in that. And lastly, I'd like to wish all the mothers and the grandmothers and the aunts and everyone who is like a mother to children in the community and a good example in helping them to get through their daily life a very, very happy Mother's Day this Sunday. Thank you, end of report.
Thank you, Mrs. Lopez. Resident citizens' comments, if you'd like to step up to the podium, give us your name and your address, please. And remember that you have 3 minutes.
I'll say they have a meeting.
It might be. Feel free to try it.
15800 even.
It's working a little bit. It's working a little bit.
How's that? No?
You couldn't have on before.
Just talk what was on the phone.
Just talk about it.
It's on now. It's on.
Okay. My sister, Clara Sable, and I belong to a successful women impacting neighborhoods everywhere. We call ourselves the Swine Sisters. And they recently held fundraisers to help chosen charities. Giving back to our community is a major goal for our group, and we're proud to be able to help your facility in meeting some of your local community needs. You are receiving this check since one or more of our special and caring members either live in your community or have requested that we help support your efforts. Linda, you want to come up? Oh, sure. We want you to accept the enclosed check in the amount of $500, which we are hopeful will make an impact for those who may need assistance during difficult times. We're proud to be able to help and are hopeful that this will assist you in your goals in helping your community and neighbors in need.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And last but not least, in reading this expenditures, I would like this item discussed before this meeting is over. I know you can't answer it for me now, but before the meeting is adjourned, what is this legal action? Browning versus Council Clerk and City for $2,325. I'd like that explained to me. Is it our tax dollars paying for this? Please.
Good evening. Annette Blackwell, 15357 Longville Avenue. I'd like to thank Councilperson Karina Agee for taking the time out to just really acknowledge the academic challenge team. Those kids got studied for months, and as you all know, they did us proud if you got a chance to watch that broadcast. So thank you for taking the time out to acknowledge our children. And secondly, I'd like to just thank Ms. Bocat. We're business owners in Maple Heights. We have an event center. And since we opened 6 months ago, Mrs. Bocat has sent, Mrs. Bocat has sent several people to our business. And because of someone like you, we're actually thriving and doing very well in Maple Heights. So thank you so much.
Good evening. I'm here with the council captain. I'm here to, actually I'm standing here, my name is Stafford A. Schmidt, 15051 James Drive. I'm standing here on behalf of the young people here in Maple Heights. I would like to thank the council people, some of you may not know, for employing our young people to help you out in various ways. We have from 13 and 14-year-olds who attend Milkovich Junior High School who have been hired by some of our council people to come out and help them in various ways. And I'd like to thank you for that because our young people are our future. And you giving them the opportunity to whatever work that you may need them to do, and even giving them the opportunity to understand local government. These are young people who are going to grow up in Maple Heights at the age of 13, at the age of 14, understand a little bit about local government and also having a little change in their pocket. So I want to thank you. Those young people, they are willing to help anytime you need them, whatever it may be. I just think that's an awesome opportunity that you give them. And also would like you to know, most of them play for the junior high basketball team. So these are good young men, and a couple of them are in honor classes. So again, I just want to thank you on their behalf. They're so happy, their parents are happy, and I'm able to call them and say, hey, a couple of council people, leaders in the city need you to help them. The parents are so happy for that opportunity. So I'd like to thank each and every council person here for giving them that opportunity. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ross Demanke. I live at 5445 East 741st Street. And the reason I'm here is because two things on my street. I borrowed a friend of mine's radar gun, and I clocked people driving on our street at 50 to 75 miles an hour. Now the reason I believe that causes this to happen is because there's absolutely no stops between Peace and Rockside. It's a straight shot. You had last year that car that went sailing into the living room of that person that lived on Rockside, and the house is no longer there, generating the tax income. But I think somebody in the council many years ago had saw this same problem, but they went overboard. They put a stop sign at every intersection on the street. And of course, this aggravated a lot of people, so then they removed them. But there really needs to be at least 3, possibly 4 stop signs installed on the street to slow the traffic down. It's getting utterly ridiculous. Not to mention the car speeding, but 18-wheelers now use 140th Street, 1st Street to get to Rockside or to North and South Industrial. This is a common occurrence every day. Matter of fact, the chief might want to look into putting a car there, because I don't know what the fine is for a 60,000-pound truck driving on East 141st Street, but it should generate some income. And lastly, I don't know what the service department's criteria is for filling potholes, but apparently it must be, the pothole has to be 12 inches wide by 10 inches deep to get anybody's attention. But there are so many linear potholes on 141st between Peace and South Industrial. All you hear every day is bang, 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 cars going over these potholes. They work through there patching, but like I say, they patched only small little potholes. So that's basically my beef. I hate to put a damper on the many happy things that went on at this meeting, but it's just, a lot of my neighbors are getting aggravated with what's going on 141st Street. And I won't even mention, I don't understand why there's a sign on Interstate 480 eastbound that said truck traffic use Broadway instead of Granger Road. But yet we allow 18-wheelers to exit 480 at Granger Road, and they tie up traffic every day on the street. They're going to the intermodal terminal. You know, why can't they just get off at Broadway, go to the intermodal terminal on Broadway, and when they leave, go back to 480 on Broadway, instead of jamming up the traffic on the Granger Road? It just doesn't make any sense to me at all, not to mention the damage they get. But anyway, thank you for your time.